2 times this year, I have given directors that I was skeptical of the benefit of the doubt, because at the end of the day, I'm a giver. I'm a kind-hearted soul, and I like to be optimistic. And 2 times I have been forced to watch Jacob Elordi treat his partner like a dog. For jokes, for laughs, a dog. Pessimism is the way. I will never give the benefit of the doubt again. I am done. It is over. A dog. Twice. If I had a nickel every time it happened, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot. But why? Why did it happen twice? Guys, what's going on? I'm kind of stuck up here. I regret doing this. It's fine. How did this happen twice to me? What's going on? I thought it was hard to get into Hollywood. We're just letting anyone make stuff now. Is that what's going on? But to be honest, it is on me. I saw the commercials. I knew what I was getting into, but my curiosity really does get the best of me every single time. We're talking about Euphoria today. I was not planning on doing this in the slightest. I wasn't even sure if I was going to watch the season, but I had a lot of work to do today, and I was like, let me just put something on. Because I watched the new episode of The Pit. I was already on HBO, and I was like, oh, look, the new episode of Euphoria. That was a mistake. Why did I do that to myself? Because I didn't really even enjoy last season. There were some good moments, but I was like, this show is crazy and I don't think they know what they're doing. And after watching this first episode of the season, yes, they still don't know what the fuck they're doing. But the one thing that kept me going last season was the memes and the community, because the fans are funny. I enjoy watching what they have to say. I love the recreations, all of that stuff. The community aspect of it is fun, but the show itself is just not. And this season, I think it has gotten worse, and I just really need to talk about it because I'm so frustrated and disgusted about what happened. So if you haven't gotten to watch it, don't want to pay for HBO, understandable. I'm only paying for it right now to watch The Pit and Hacks, and once those shows are over, sorry HBO, you're done. Because I am not watching the next episode of Euphoria. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I cannot be bothered. I don't care. The only way I'm watching the next episode of Euphoria is if I am tied to a chair and my eyes are glued open. I'm not doing it. That would be torture for me. I am done. Let's talk about it. So initially, I was kind of excited. There was like a Tarantino-ass opening, and I was like, oh, maybe this could be fun. But then I remembered, when there is Tarantino, there is gonna be weird fetishy stuff. Those things kind of go hand in hand. You get the artsy, noir, Western feel, and then you get feet. You get feet doing weird stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe I should be worried. The first couple minutes were kind of fun. I loved that we're just immediately driving over Trump's big wall. That was funny to me. That was very much, suck it, Donald, your wall ain't shit. And I did think that that was kind of funny. And then Rue just leaves the car there. Just leaves it there. Amazing.
Michael, don't leave me here.
But I have questions because she somehow makes it seemingly on foot. It was kind of unclear from Chihuahua to like Agua Dulce, Texas, which is like 700 miles. So I had questions about that, but it's not important. Okay, moving on. The scene of her meeting the family, that was kind of funny. You're doing the Lord's work. Absolutely. Got a bag full of the Lord's work right here. That was fun. And Lori makes a return. Terrible character, but so funny. The cadence of Lori's voice is just so perfect. I am obsessed with it.
Hello, Rue. You owe me money.
Hello, Rue. Where's my car? And I get a flashback explaining why Rue is now a drug mule for Lori. I mean, we all kind of knew that because the whole suitcase situation. We get a flashback of Lori finding her at her job, and she's like,
Rue, you owe me money.
Then we get a breakdown of how much money Rue actually owes, and it's insane. So, $10,000 was what the suitcase was, right? Well, Lori is a businesswoman, so unfortunately there was interest on that shit. So 20% at 46 months. Rue now officially owns $43,887,000. Uh-oh. Rue doesn't have that much money. Not even a little bit. But Lori is nice. Lori's so nice and kind. She says, you just got to pay me $100,000. I'd settle for that. Rue doesn't have that either, so fuck. She's now a drug mule. And then that is where my interest in the show died. After this, it starts getting weird. Okay, that first couple minutes, I was like, all right, maybe this isn't gonna be that bad. Then we go downhill, okay? What follows is a disturbing couple of scenes involving drug balloons. Rue has to swallow them, and it's gross. We also get the return of Faye. So Faye and Rue swallowing these balloons. It's disgusting. It's awful. And the scene goes on for far too long, and there's a lot of spit, a lot of suggestive. It's weird, and it feels weird. Sam, what are we doing? Then they finally make it across the border, and they are both about to blow. Rue is getting carried in, but oh, Faye has already blown. It's disgusting. There is shit dripping off of her ass. Oh my god. Why did we need to have that? And then it gets worse because a dog eats it.
What the dog doing?
Oh my god. Why? Why was that? That's not necessary in the slightest. Then it gets worse. Rue does the business into a strainer, and then the next scene is that strainer being used to make spaghetti. What the fuck? Hello? Hello, why? Why was that a thing? Was that supposed to be funny? I'm not laughing. Oh my god. Okay, then what happens next? I think in order to soften the blow of that horrific scene, we shift to Lexi. Yay! How's Lexi doing? She's doing exactly what you think she's doing. She's working on a film set. She's an assistant. Okay, that checks out. She's still a little judgmental, but that's just Lexi's whole vibe. It is ironic, though, that she does call Christians judgmental as well, which is true. But I think the call is also coming from inside the house because Lexi is so judgmental. We then find out a little bit of information about Jules. We find out that she is a sugar baby and an artist, which I feel like the sugar baby thing is really disappointing. I don't know why all of the female characters' careers now have to revolve around sex in some way. The goal is to tell a thought-provoking story about sex work. Cool, but I am very worried that that is not Sam Levinson's goal, and I just don't know if he's the guy to tell that story. I feel like he handles everything with addiction pretty well because he's coming from a place of understanding. But maybe he should stop trying to write female characters. I don't know. I'm really worried for Jules's character because I feel like up until now it's been done pretty well, especially with all of the input that Hunter Schafer had on the character. But I don't know where it's going, and I'm actually kind of worried. We'll see, though. I won't, but other people can tell me what happens. We do also find out that Fez is in prison for 30 years, which I feel like was the wrong move. I don't really understand. Maybe they're going to do something with that. We'll see. But I also noticed that there wasn't a tribute to Angus Cloud at the beginning, which was weird. I don't know what the plan is there. Who brings up in the conversation with Lexi that she is thinking about Christianity more, and that kind of seems to be what is setting up to be Rue's arc. She also has a conversation with her sponsor about it, which is such a weird conversation. Why are we making butt sex jokes in 2026? Come on now.
War ain't the time for butt sex.
I did like the scene where Rue was driving around listening to the Bible full blast while she had someone riding in her car for Uber. That was funny, especially because it was Genesis. Just a happy little read to listen to on my way to work. Now we unfortunately need to talk about Nate and Cassie, two of my least favorite characters. I don't really find their story interesting. The only time it is interesting is when Maddie's involved, but Maddie is not involved, so I am bored as shit. Nate took over for Cal, so he's pretending to do construction because he can't get permits or whatever, so he's just dicking around. Cassie is trying to become an OnlyFans model. Honestly, this whole thing kind of feels like an OnlyFans advertisement. I don't know what's going on. She has like a whole thing where she's explaining it. She's like, well, actually, OnlyFans isn't just about pornography. It's actually a great way for monetization and being a girl boss. Okay, that can be true. but I don't think this is how to deliver that. What? Our intro to Cassie is her ass. Of course it is. Why would it not be? Her ass on a doghouse dressed like a dog, and she's forcing her housekeeper to take videos of her. She also does drink out of a dog bowl, of course. Then she is on a bed. She's got a harness. There is a really funny moment though where her housekeeper is taking these videos of her and just goes, "Very nice, Miss Cassie." Very nice, Miss Cassie. Like, she is such an excellent hype woman. Then Nate Jacobs gets home. He drives a fucking Cybertruck. That's one thing I will agree with. That checks out. Yeah, he comes home. He's obviously like, "Hey, what are you doing? What is this?" Cassie's explaining herself. It's boring. I don't really care about them. But then he's mad about it. But then after he feeds into it by like grabbing her and like, "I'll treat you like a dog." Blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to see that again. Jacob Elordi, you got to put something in your contracts. Why does this keep happening to you? Oh my God. Also, the dynamic between them is totally different. Nate Jacobs seems kind of like a different character right now. He's just kind of letting Cassie do whatever, and she has this whole moment of, "Don't underestimate me." Like, Cassie, I'm so sorry. You want to be Maddie so bad, but it just doesn't work. I don't believe her when she says stuff like this. She also definitely is still obsessed with Maddie. There's a moment where she's like looking at Instagram, and she probably is like, "Man, I really picked the wrong one. I should have stuck with Maddie." Yeah. You should have. Why'd you pick Nate Jacobs? That's insane. But I just don't really understand the dynamic between the two of them. They just don't seem like the same people. It's like they tried to give him a redemption arc off screen and they want us to like him more. I still don't. I'm not gonna just casually forget everything that he's done. I need to see him doing better, not just Cassie being worse, okay? We then finally get like 2 seconds of Maddie. I've been waiting this whole show. I've been bored as shit. All I want is more Maddie. We'll just find out that she works in management. She's not making good money though because she's just an assistant, but she's really good at her job. So that makes me think that she's gonna do well later on. And it does seem like she is going to become Cassie's manager at some point. That's a very interesting setup, and I think that has potential. I'm not gonna know. You're gonna have to tell me because I'm not watching. Okay, now back to Rue. Rue has to do a run for Lori and ends up meeting Alamo Brown. It's a real stand-up dude, owns 5 strip clubs and absolutely acts like it. There is a whole conversation between him and Rue that makes me want to rip my ears out and eat them. It's just, these bitches. Yeah, they're my bitches. I just hate it. I hate it so much. Yeah. All of the sex workers in the background are just there to be sex workers in the background until they are no longer needed, and then one of them dies, of course. The show just feels so obsessed with sex work, but it's entirely uninterested in telling a compelling story and being nuanced when discussing the topic. I actually just watched a video from Girl on Film, which discusses the depiction of sex workers in horror. And I think that a lot of that sentiment can be applied to this show too. These women are purely used as objects of fascination, and then when they're no longer needed, they're discarded, aka they die by overdose in this particular scene. So they're just discarded once they're no longer useful to Levinson.
Assigning a character the single trait of El Prostituto is also a cheap shorthand on screen to show that they have hit rock bottom, that they're the dregs of society, depraved, destitute. To say, of course, they've ended up in a world where murder takes place because their world is already so unprincipled. Both the immorality and destitution are such cheap writing tricks that lean on people's worst instincts and lack of empathy.
And I know that this is just the first episode, but based on Levinson's other projects, I have very little faith that he is going to attack sex work with the nuance necessary to make this a compelling story, especially now that he doesn't have to worry about depicting teenagers, which never truly stopped him before, but now all bets are off and I'm genuinely scared about what he's gonna put on screen. Honestly, that convo between Rue and Alamo Brown told me all that I need to know about how this show is gonna treat sex workers, and I'm just not interested, okay? This 2026, I thought we had a little bit more knowledge and empathy but apparently we do not. I think that they're going to be treated as objects and they are going to be discarded when they are no longer useful, unless they're Cassie. And of course, she'll be useful the entire time, but just to showcase awful, awful things. Then she'll have to cry in some beautifully tragic way. Of course, during all of this, she is going to have to show off as much of her body as fucking possible and do the weirdest stuff that Sam Levinson deems important to the plot. Like dressing up like a baby? Yeah, I did see that. And I think that someone needs to look into this creator a little bit, because what the fuck? What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, sorry, bit of a tangent. So yeah, we meet Alamo Brown because Rue's gay ass could not stay away from the hot ladies.
Hello?
Understandable. You know what? That's the one thing that kept me watching was Rue. Rue is such an interesting character. Zendaya just does such a good job. Watching Rue's gay ass dance with all these hot ladies and have so much joy was very funny. And then, of course, things take a turn for the worse. But you know what? We had that moment of joy. So after one of his ladies overdoses, he's very mad. He is threatening Rue. Rue survives, though, through the grace of God. Rue's very thankful for this, and now it seems like she is going to be working for Alamo Brown instead, which is definitely going to piss off Lori. Sure, that's going to lead to a lot of shenanigans. I'm not going to know. You'll have to tell me. Okay, unfortunately, to Cassie and Nate, they are having a 50 million candlelit dinner. Cassie, girl, you're gonna burn down the house. Why are so many candles? It's a ridiculous amount of candles. I was stressed the entire time. Not about the conversation. Conversation was boring, but there was a lot of candles. And then we find out why Cassie is so determined on doing the OnlyFans things. She wants $50,000 worth of flowers for her wedding, and she's gonna do whatever it takes for these floral arrangements. What? And Nate has a very valid question. You want to sell your body for floral arrangements?
I will if I have to.
I didn't wait my entire life to have a ghetto wedding. Maybe we shouldn't have a wedding if you can't afford a wedding.
Ghetto girl. Oh, who's writing this shit? Oh, wait. Cassie is poor shaming Nate, and he seems to be accepting that this is just what's gonna happen. I don't know. Don't care. And the whole thing ends with a scene of Rue having an apple on her head. Alamo Brown shooting the apple. She didn't die. Thank you, Jesus. So basically, if you listen to the Bible on audiobook, you will be saved. Got it. Understood. It's such a tonal shift. It does not feel like the same genre, let alone show, which, you know what, that could have worked for me if it didn't also suck and have a lot of weird fetish stuff. Also, the score, you can feel the hole that Labyrinth left. I didn't realize how much of the show I enjoyed just because the score was so good, but you can just feel the nothingness that is there now. No offense, Hans Zimmer, you've done some good stuff, but this is not it to me. To me, that's my opinion, okay? Yeah, not enough Maddie and Jules. Cassie and Nate are boring. I'm sure we're gonna obviously get more. This is the first episode, and that's my thing. This is the first episode. Maybe it's. I hope I'm wrong about a lot of this. I hope that it is going to be handled a lot better than what I'm seeing right now. I don't have high hopes though. Based on The Idol, I am worried because this seems to be devolving into what that was, and I don't have high hopes, and I'm gonna stop watching. Overall, I regret watching this. I will not be fooled into watching more of this. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, it's not happening. I'm done, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, and if you enjoyed this, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. I just could not do it. Just can't support something that is just so uninterested in having nuanced conversations. I'm not doing it. But I'm still nosy. No. I'm not gonna let my nosiness get the best of me this time. If you guys want to tell me what happens though, I would be very interested to know, but I can't let myself watch it.
No.
Why? That I gave this show another chance. Why did I do this? The dog ate shit out her ass. Oh my god. I'm done.